Hello and welcome back to Say Yes to You. This is Peggy. On my channel, I do love talking things, spiritual development, personal growth. It's my goal that with each video, I can offer you something you can take away with you so that you may begin to say yes to yourself sooner than later. And what does it mean to say yes to yourself? That simply means being in alignment with that best or higher version of yourself. It means having healthy boundaries. It means really feeling alive inside of your own life, being happy with yourself. And that happiness is, in fact, independent of what is happening around you. It's something that you cultivate inside of yourself, and that spills over into the outside world. So now, a theme has emerged with these videos for the week, and that theme is really around the value and the importance of being able to express anger. A lot of people kind of shy away from that expression of anger because we've been socialized that anger is dangerous. Anger has no place anger has no place in this family. Anger has no place in society. It's dangerous to express your anger. The problem with that thinking is the anger is simply one of a myriad of emotions that we are blessed to be able to have, and it's very natural, it's very appropriate. So let me ask you this. Did you grow up with a parent or adult figure in your life who was explosively angry? Did that anger frighten you? Did you yourself have an issue with anger, an angry kid, where your anger was received negatively? If you've had any of those types of experience, it could be that you have made a vow to never be angry. And what I mean by that is on a conscious level, you've told yourself, a part of you has said, it's not safe to express this part of myself. It's dangerous to express this part of myself. When I express this part of myself, love is withdrawn. Positive attention is withdrawn. And when, love and attention are taken away or withdrawn, we don't like that. So to combat that or to avoid that happening, we've made this commitment that anger has no place here. Again, the issue with that is your anger is actually valuable in letting the rest of the world know these are my boundaries. This is what I believe I deserve. This is not fair. And my response to this not being fair is this uprising of emotion that happens to be called anger. It's also important. So what I wanted to do is delve into it a little bit more deeply. In the previous videos, I talked about the journey to forgiveness. Not so much the forgiveness of other people who, from this vantage point, you may feel you're angry at, but forgiveness of yourself. If you are someone who's made the vow that it's not safe, it's not okay to be angry, and the result is guilt because of that disparity between how you really feel versus what you think you should be feeling, what's acceptable. That guilt can be a natural byproduct of the anger that's there. So I began to talk about what you can do as a gateway to begin with the forgiveness. But before that, there needs to be some expression of that anger. So specifically, some of the suggestions or tips or processes that I began with in previous videos was journaling. And I want to talk about the journaling a little bit more. Many people, there's so many benefits to journaling, number one, as a means of keeping record of your goals, of your innermost thoughts, of your feelings. The journaling can also be a tool that you can use to begin to disperse some of that anger that is inside of you. So a couple of journaling prompts that you can use are, I deserve better when. It pissed me off when. Something along these lines is just to begin to write out, the circumstances that you may be feeling a charge around, and begin to journal it that way. And just allow whatever begins to, come forward, to let that simply come forward with no judgment of yourself. Another thing that I mentioned was the punching of pillows, screaming into pillows, exercising to really tap into that physical release of the emotion. So what I further wanted to bring today was a tapping round. I am a very big proponent of EFT, emotional freedom technique. If you're not familiar, the EFT addresses the different energy meridians we have in our bodies, very similar to acupuncture. But instead of using needles, what we're doing is using our fingertips and tapping on those meridians to send a message to our brain to turn off that fight, flight, or fear response, and allow the brain to know that everything is calm, we're safe right now, everything is, in this particular moment, everything is okay. So that when you begin to think about what has angered you, when you think about the situation where you said, it's not fair, it's not right, I deserve better, as you're really thinking about those instances, what you're going to find is when you begin tapping and just allow yourself to go there, the feelings are going to flood. The feelings are going to come back. So it's the stimulus of thinking the thoughts, the response of the energy beginning to move, the emotions coming and sending that signal to your brain that, there's danger here. There's something to be on alert about. But that tapping is interrupting that signal so that you can begin to disperse that energy. So we're going to do a round of tapping around anger. And this is not for the faint of heart, as I have said many a times and probably will continue to say. Personal development is not easy work. If improving upon ourselves, improving upon the way we respond to things, if it were that easy, everyone would do it. Everyone would be doing it. There would be so many things that simply no longer exist in the world, different ways we treat each other, that simply wouldn't go on anymore if more of us chose to do our own inner work, as it's called. So we're going to do a round of tapping. So I'm going to set it up by asking you, dear viewer, to think about a time where you felt that you were on the receiving end of something not being fair. You perceive this treatment that you got. It's not fair. It's not fair. So think back to that instance. And I always love to say, have a piece of paper and a writing utensil, a pen or a pencil there. And you're going to think of that feeling of it's not fair. And I would say that there are a lot of things happening in the world right now where people feel like it's not fair. Maybe it's something to do with, your own health, something to do with the health of someone you care about, something to do with your work situation, something to do with your money situation if you're out of work. But it's not fair. That's what we're going after right now. It's not fair. So allow yourself to call up the details around whatever it is that's not fair. The details are going to begin to stimulate, the feelings there. It's not fair. So what you're going to do is you're going to rate that statement, it's not fair, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being This is the truest it can be. It's not fair. This is true for sure. It's not fair. It's not fair. And one would be the opposite of that. Well, I can understand. There's less of a charge there. So you're going to give yourself a rating between 1 and 10. And write it down, because there's a phenomenon called the apex effect, where after you have done a round or more of tapping, the intensity of those feelings dissipates. And you yourself cannot remember just how pissed you were about it not being fair or whatever the case may be. So you write down that number between 1 and 10. And then we're going to begin to tap. My guess is if you are someone who's on this video, you are already familiar with tapping. If not, we're going to give a little remedial instruction on it. So we start with the side of the hand with the tapping for what we call the setup statement. So you're just going to begin to follow along. Either visually, you can close your eyes if you like, whatever the case may be, but I will be giving verbal instructions as well as, follow along. So we're going to tap on the side of the hand and say, it's not fair. It is not fair. We're still tapping on the side of the hand. It's not fair. Still on the side of the hand. Even though it's not fair and I should have done more, I should be doing more. I should stand up for myself. But I still love and accept myself. Even though I know it's not fair, I still love and accept myself. And then we're going to move to the eyebrow point, right where the hair begins. So you're going to tap. You can use one hand, two hands, right or left side. It really doesn't matter. But please repeat after me. It's not fair. Then we go to the side of the eye, which is on your temple. It's not fair. I deserve better than this. Then go under the eye, right on your cheekbone. It's not fair. Why did this happen to me? And just tapping and repeating and feeling. Under the nose. It's not fair. We go to the chin. I deserve better than this. And then to the collarbone. I deserve better. I don't deserve that treatment. You can go under the arm. Maybe if you're a lady where your bra strap is, it's not fair. And then we go to the top of the head, that crown chakra area. I deserve better than this. I deserve better than this. And you may have heard even my voice began to change there. So the anger is going to express itself in a myriad of ways. Maybe the anger expresses itself with the tone of your voice, the emotion coming through in your voice. You may have a sensation of heat rising in your body. You may feel warm all of a sudden. You may feel cold all of a sudden. You may get tingles. Whatever the case may be, let it be. So after the crown chakra, we go to the side of the eye. This really pisses me off. I'm pissed. This is BS. And obviously feel free to use your own language there. But this pisses me the F off. I worked too hard for this. I've come too far. I've come too far. Under the arm. And I deserve better than this. Back to the crown. I deserve better than this. The eyebrow. And I don't have to take it. Side of the eye. I'm pissed off and I don't have to take it. Under the eye. This really pisses me off. Under the nose. I should just take revenge. The chin. I'm going to start plotting my revenge because they're all going to pay. Collarbone. They're all going to pay. Under the arm. They'll regret the day they messed with me. Top of the head. I'm going to teach them some lesson. Back to the eyebrow. I'm going to teach them a lesson. Side of the eye. They're going to learn today. Under the eye. Because I deserve better than this. And then under the nose. I deserve so much better than this. Into the chin. This is crap. And collarbone. Peanuts. They think they can throw peanuts. And then under the arm. No, not today. Today, I'm plotting my revenge. Okay. And take a breath. Take a breath. And I'm going to ask you to re-rate your feelings and emotions around it's not fair. The number may have come down a little bit, or the number may have gone up. And whichever way it goes, it's all fine. It's all fine. You may have noticed that the language I began to use towards the end there was becoming more and more extreme. And that's more than okay, because what you're doing when you're doing your tapping, your EFT, is it is a way to create a container, and inside of that container, you are safe, and it is okay to express that anger. With the more extreme language, the idea is you are giving yourself permission, giving your psyche permission to really begin to let loose, to really begin to tap into, to express itself in whatever way feels right for you at that time. So that was just a couple of rounds. I began to feel myself settle a little bit, like calm down a little bit. And I began to smile, because with that more extreme language, it was a way of dispersing some of that tension, dispersing some of that anger. So it did seem kind of ridiculous to me to be so upset, but everyone's response is going to be different. Everyone's response is going to be different. But the idea being, it is more than okay to express that anger. More than that, it's appropriate, it's healthy, it's needed, as long as it is done, and it can be done in a safe, productive way. That expression of anger is important because it's your way of showing yourself and showing the outside world that you do hold yourself to be of value, that you do have boundaries for how you treat yourself and what's acceptable in people's treatment of you. It's your way of putting your foot down, because that's your right. It's your right. But again, I know that many people, many of us have made the vow to never be angry because of our conditioning. So for some people, just the idea of tapping into it really is intimidating. And I understand that. So what I would say to that is, if you feel like you want or need support in tapping into that anger inside of a safe container, I am a certified EFT practitioner as well as certified coach who is here to provide you with that support. So check out the description box that has my contact info in there. But again, this is something that is a necessary step. I would argue that tapping into and dispersing the feelings of anger, rage, even resentment, all things that have a similar flavor to that anger, because in some way you feel that you've been devalued, that is a necessary stop on your journey to forgiveness of yourself and forgiveness of others. That really is going to be a barrier. When you go from feeling that you've been wronged by whomever to forgiveness, that's spiritual bypassing. That, in my mind, that is a mechanism that many people use because they want to operate from that higher self. They want to operate from those higher chakras. That anger, self-value, your passion, your personal power, that stuff is housed in your lower chakras. That's your humanness. Your humanness is down there in your lower chakras. And a lot of people perceive that to be scary and dangerous. And it is easier. It is easier to go into your higher chakras and just go to forgiveness. Just go to forgiveness. But something is missing because it's not genuine. There's a dissonance there. Even if your thinking mind is going along with that story that you've in fact forgiven, whatever perceived wrongs have happened to you, there's going to be that disconnect there because your subconscious mind knows is keeping the score, is keeping the real score. So it is very important to find a way to express that anger, to get it out so that you can have a true sense of yourself and what it is that you deserve, but further go into true forgiveness, which is, like a passport to just really enjoying what life has to offer you. Okay, so if you like that content, go ahead and give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and leave me a comment. Until next time, bye-bye.